Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun. So Carlos has a pre-recorded review with Dustin for the first part of the Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion. P.S. Y'all, I did not talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville at all yesterday, and it was nice. Like I really reflected, and I was like, yesterday was a good day. But let's get into the BS. So they start off regular, inappropriate. They talk about wardrobe, like how Carlos has brought them in to wear the finer suits. And then they start talking about Destiny. They opened it up really about her because her dress was late because the showroom hadn't opened. Okay. The showroom. But then they talked about how Carlos said, this shows you that this show is real. It's not scripted. It's real life. We shoot the reality. Because Destiny's dress was late. Okay. So Dustin is talking about Marceau and Martel's relationship. And how, like I've said, you've said, those are Martel's friends. Now you see the breakdown of their relationship. Now you see that all of the things that have been accused is now coming to be true. He mentioned Tisha, how she said what she said on this podcast. And then he talked about how the revenge piece, how those things are coming to the reunion through Marceau. And now Marceau is breaking Martel down and actually showing you how he actually is. P.S. I told y'all that at this point, Dustin has not said anything about Mel not being on the show. By the time I finish this, if I haven't said anything, he's told him that that's not something we can talk about. I don't know if Carlos appreciates this particular conversation, but Dustin is talking about Martel and how you need to pay attention to who he is, right? He was saying how Martel has told you that if you do something to me, I'm going to do something to you. He retaliates. That's who he is. Just like when he said, I sent this picture to Mel and he didn't think anything was wrong with it. He's doing it to hurt her. And then he went on to say, like, he's at the reunion, at the vow renewal, talking about maybe I need another 5 years to see if this is really over. Like, it's done. You understand what I'm saying? And Martel is a vindictive person who looks at getting his lick back. And he can't see it, but everybody else does. I don't know if Carlos is listening, but Dustin is telling him exactly right. Like, he is literally giving you the playbook to Martel. He's telling him that the fact that Martel didn't think anything was wrong sending that text message and that photo, the fact that he felt like that's him getting his lick back. He was like, you don't know what you're going to get because he acts on emotion. And at the end of it, Martel is dangerous. And then he said, for you not to have awareness about someone like that and getting your lick back goes that low, he was like, you need to pay attention to that. Now, Carlos looks like he's listening, but I hope he got it because Dustin was on point with everything he said. So Carlos wants you to know that he hears you. He hears you when you say he talks about everything else except for his shows. He says he's under contract, right? And he's under contract as a host. And there are things that happen on the show. He sees what you're saying, but he can't talk about it. That's why he has a reunion so they can talk about the reality of the show. Now, I don't think he's talking about everything he needs to talk about, but that's why he said that this information about Martel is coming out on this reunion show because the people want to hear about it. But we all know he's not going to do that the right way. So then Carlos said that he let Martel know that what he did was abhorrent. He let him know immediately that what he did was wrong to Mel, right? So is this Carlos like saying to us, Martel is not a good guy. He's not doing this, that, and the third. And I don't appreciate it. Like, you can say that. But people will watch your show if you take an action. Like, someone who did something like that should not be on a show to further do things like that. That's all the people are saying. let me ask you a question. Do you think that Carlos was really giving Martel a chance to come clean and be factual and honest about what he's done? Because Dustin said that Carlos was like exhausted. You know, he did clap at Martel. He did get in his face. When he asked Martel to answer something, Martel said, ask Melody. And he was like, I'm asking you for the facts, right? It was very exhausting. But the way Dustin is breaking down Martel at this point, if Carlos doesn't see Martel in a different light, it's a lost cause. It is a lost cause, and what it is he feels like Martel is his cash cow. Because if you didn't know Martel and you listened to Dustin, you wouldn't want to have anything to do with him. I just wonder, what do you think about that? And one thing I did notice that throughout this, like they mentioned the revenge P, but they brought it back down to a text message and a photo that was text. And although it seems like he was trying to get the straight from Martel, I don't think it matters. It does not matter to him. It does not matter. Let's keep going. So now they're talking about Maurice, right? And there was like, child, the people want me to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. And then they're we're talking about a very smart man. He was the valedictorian of his class. So, with the DUI, Carlos does this big hoopla about Maurice's case being dismissed, right? And then Dustin gets on Kimmy, talking about how he feels like she's fair. She's in these fair pockets. But then he talks about how she didn't appreciate people discussing her. They mentioned Mel and Shanita, and then mentioned Tisha and Marceau. But Kimmy discusses everybody, right? She's not above reproach. Kimmy can go along with Maurice, who is the least. I don't even understand why we talking about this. Then he talked about how Mel and her supporters felt like they were talking about her on the show. And then now she's like talking about them on the show, asking about the DUI and things like that. And they feel like because Maurice's case at the time was open, that maybe they shouldn't be doing that, right? And he asked Dustin, what did he think? And then he gave the example also that when Mel and Martel came to the show, they came to the show with their lives being reality for the reality show. And how do the others view it? Dustin is saying that they probably view it as Mel being retaliatory, right? You did this to me, I'm going to do this to you. Putting her kind of in the same box as Martel, but no, right? The thing is, and he knows this, Mel and Martel has given their reality since they've been on the show. The others have not. Mel asked Kimmy a question straight up. I don't want to talk about it, right? We ask about the pink lips. I don't think that's what it is. What is going on with Tisha and Marceau? Why did they go to a counselor? Why were they going to get a divorce? Mel and Martel have given their reality since they got on this show. The others have not, and they mad because they don't want to. And that's that on that. So Carlos's feelings are hurt, and Dustin has picked him up, and he's trying to dust him off and put a Band-Aid on them. Because Dustin is like, Carlos is like, I know the show cannot be ignored. Some things have to be talked about. There are going to be 1,000 YouTube videos. And Dustin's like, the people are immature, and the fact that we think that Carlos should take our perspective and speak about it is crazy. No, what's crazy is you don't give us the reality. You gave us the reality of one couple, but the other two, we have no idea what's going on there. And get out your feelings, Carlos. And P.S., why so much shade toward Dr. Shanita Foster? Did y'all catch that? They talked about her earlier in here, and then they talked about her talking to Mel about Maurice and the DUI in the gymnasium. What was that about? It's your girl, Millie Chun. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.